welcome back to the live broadcast of the Sydney International Piano Competition 2023, where Vitaly Starikov is joining me after just performing in the semi-finals. Thanks so much for finding some time to talk to me, Vitaly.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You just told me before we started today you actually had a good night's sleep last night. That must make a lot of difference, before you perform.
It could be really bad sleeping night because usually before the competition, I don't know why, but we have a little bit adrenaline and stress the day before the performance. But the last night it was okay, fortunately.
I'm very pleased about that because all of us struggle with jet lag all the time.
Yes, of course, jet lag is. Can make a lot trouble to the.
It does. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
You said in a statement, you said to grow personally and artistically is sort of one of the main aims of you doing this contest. One of the things that you'd hope the most to achieve in doing that. Is that correct? Yeah.
Career. To grow up personally and artistically, for me, it's mean just to explore and just to discover some new things, especially during my playing, because every my appearance at stage, it is something unique for me, and audience is. Has a lot of differences between countries and countries, city to city, and a lot of differences. And I try to get some connects with audience and to get as much as inspiration as possible from the audience, from the music itself, of course. And for me, it's not. Of course, it's not only just to play, but also is just conversations with other competitors. It's very lovely guys. Absolutely, every competitor is a very unique person, and we had a lot fun time, and hope that in future also.
Yeah, you have a lot in common, don't you?
Yes.
You've dedicated several decades of your life to music and to the piano, and that, of course, makes you feel a certain amount of coming together for something like this, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
You chose Debussy, Stravinsky, Carl Wein, and Wagner Liszt. It's quite an interesting combination there.
Yes.
Tell us first of all about Carl Wein, that Australian composer.
Carl Wein, yes, it was a very easy choice for me because Carl Wein perhaps is the most famous Australian composer right now, and he has a really interesting style. It's composing style. It's not so hard for listen, but at the same time, it is a very unique style for me, and he has a lot of beautiful melodies and beautiful harmonies, and when I when I choose the Australian piece for my program, in the rules and in the regulation was the point that we should not extend. We should play Australian music no less than 7 minutes or 8 minutes, and I decided just to find some pieces or cycle of pieces, and just to choose several pieces from it, and I started to explore Australian music, and hopefully find very beautiful cycle. I really like it, and every piece is very beautiful music, really beautiful music, and yeah.
That's terrific.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, when you look around you, and this is your first time in Australia, I take it. So, and playing then the Carl Wein and everything that's happening here, do you find a connection? Do you think the language of the music is also a little bit like the environment here in some ways, or?
Perhaps, yeah. To play wine in Australia, it's. I think it's. the best one I can imagine. Yeah, it's like, but also I think it's a good challenge play the Carl Wines music, because it is like maybe play. I don't know, maybe play Bach or Beethoven in Germany, for example, yeah, you know, and where every person knows that music, and maybe with Carolina not the same, but the same time it's very famous composer, and the previous editions of Sydney competition had also and obligatory works, for example, I know that by Caroline, and of course, very famous person. Yeah,
indeed. So we move on to the semi-finals now, and of course, here you get to play some chamber music. Yeah. What are you going to be playing?
I am gonna play Shostakovich, a cello sonata, and something for an encore, but I keep it in a secret.
Okay.
For the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and is chamber music quite an important part of your life already?
Yes, sure. Moreover, I can say that chamber music is a big part of my life, and important, of course, because I think that chamber music, to play chamber music, it is a big happiness in the life of perhaps every musician, and the special thing if you play with a good musician, with good chamber partners, it is wow! It is every session of the playing, it's very wonderful, and I can say that the cellist with whom I will play, it's also a very great musician, you know, and we had a beautiful rehearsal yesterday. And,
lovely.
Yeah. I hope that it will be very good also on the stage.
Well, of course, it's quite amazing, isn't it? Somebody you've never met before, and yet you sit down and you make music together, and you communicate, not without saying something, not with detail here, detail there. You just sit and you play and you communicate. Is this not what music's all about?
Very big professional.
Yeah. How wonderful is that for you as well? Yeah. If you are fortunate enough to make it into the finals, you've decided on Beethoven and Brahms for your concertos.
Yes.
How did that come about? You big fans of both those composers, those works?
Yes, of course. I'm very big fan of Beethoven, and especially the first concerto, also because it is a work which was written by really young men, even younger than me. Even,
And, is that possible, Vitaly?
It is possible, and very talented work and very brave work, and the Beethoven's first piano concerto has many influences, for example, from Mozart, from Haydn, and of course their own Beethoven's language. Like a very talented and genius composer. It's masterpiece, and I hope that it will be possible to play it, but we'll see. And Brahms, it is a completely different piece. It's like symphony for me. It's a symphony with a piano. I mean, I think, and and I have no words what I can to describe this work, which words, but it is also, you know, was written by young men, and it was influenced also by deaths of Schumann and big problematic themes there are. So very wonderful concert. I like it both. Yeah,
indeed. Now, of course, we have a stream from this competition. Who's watching at home? Who's cheering you on?
Oh yes,
you're getting text messages.
Of course, and almost all my teachers and previous teachers.
How lovely.
have a cross fingers for me and my wife, my daughter, small daughter.
Oh, are they allowed to stay up and watch it because the difference with time here?
Yes, in Tel Aviv now, I think it's about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so yes. About 8 hours behind.
Yeah, but
right?
yeah,
Yes,
but
this is okay.
My daughter used to wake up really early and about 6 o'clock, and I think I started to play right in 6 o'clock.
So she was awake for Papa, yeah?
Yeah,
how lovely is that?
Yeah.
So
and my parents also.
Of course.
Yes, my parents.
So everybody's cheering you on.
Yes.
Terrific, Vitaly. Yeah. That's wonderful, yeah?
Yeah.
Vitaly, if I was to ask you, what's the role of a musician in today's world? What do you think that might be?
Sorry, what?
What would be the role of? What do you think the important work is of a musician in today's world?
Today's world, I think the most important just to play music, just to be honest before you and before others and before the composers, and just to do music, just to give happiness to the audience and play more concerts. That's possible.
Sounds fine to me as well. Vitaly Starikov, thank you so much for finding some time to speak to me, and we wish you all the very best with everything that might lie ahead of you, perhaps the finals, but also going back and seeing your wife and your little daughter and them being proud of you, as I'm sure they will be.
Yeah.
And that was Vitaly Starikov speaking to me there. He's one of the semi-finalists here at the Sydney International Piano Competition 2023. And this is the live broadcast that you've been watching.